On the other side. Are you ready to dig into this topic? My name is Amy Ballantyne. Welcome to Power to the People Pleasers. I'm so excited to have my guest, Tina English, here. Welcome, Tina.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, I'm so glad that you could be here today. And as I always ask with every single guest on Power to the People Pleasers, I'm wondering, have you ever been a people pleaser? And if so, how did that show up in your life?
It did. I mean, yes, I was. I think in education, I think that is just a result of education. We were told always this is right, this is wrong. And as a result of this, you try to make it right, so to be loved. And I tried that too, like for everyone. Like, you tried to make it right for the mom, for the dad, for your friends. And in the end, it showed up that you cannot make it right for everyone. And if you would, then someone will still not love you. And most likely it's the person that you would love you to love most. Like the people that you love most is mainly the people that say like, yeah, but you're not, whatever it is. And the really, really most second part is that you don't love yourself. So I didn't really know it at that time, but the experience was like I didn't feel happy with myself. I always felt kind of insecure and like, yeah, but what can I do? There's this thought process all the time, so like you're really trapped in your head and you're thinking and thinking how to make it right for someone else, but the focus is never on yourself. So how do you need things to be that they're right for you? And that I feel makes a huge difference in life.
Mm. I really appreciate you sharing that. And interestingly, in all of the times that I've asked this question, I'm always reminded of how many of us our have experienced the behavior of people pleasing and have done the behavior of people pleasing. And the way that you described feeling insecure and always being in that state of trapped in your head, focusing on what other people want. I think even though I haven't heard the words described in that way, I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling of being trapped in their head, that feeling of constantly uh, uh, really getting sucked into the story of what it will mean with the other person. So I appreciate you very much sharing that. And I
I
wanted
think
to
the
go
story
ahead.
that is not even existing. It's the
Yeah.
story that you make up in your mind because you don't know how whatever you do will turn out in reality, because actually you're so preoccupied with the story that there is, I mean, you hardly take action because you don't have time, because there's so many stories and normally they do not end very well in your
Hmm.
head.
Yeah.
And then it's really difficult to take action. Every action that you take is with kind of like precaution. You're not just like being. And I think
Yeah.
this is really the thing that, yeah, being trapped in the head is a very good explanation for me.
I really appreciate that. And I wanted to we're going to dig into that a little bit more in a moment, but I wanted to share your bio for the listeners so that they understand the awesomeness that we have here on the podcast today. So Tina started her career in sports at a very young age, winning championships in horseback riding and continuing with snowboarding, where she won national championships and was top ranked in the World Cup. We're going to talk about this for a moment. And after a huge sports injury, Tina was told, though she may never be able to walk again, and she was back on the board within 6 weeks. So we're going to talk about, and this is part of the theme of On the Other Side that I want to dig into, that you had this real life experience where you've had to come out on the other side. We're going to dig into that. But Tina also uses winning methods, tools, and mindset to help conquer goals like becoming a published author, a trained opera singer. That's super cool. And Austria's first relationship coach. So there is so much that we can dig into. And I really am so excited to have this conversation with you today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I love to spread those things and I'll have these conversations.
Oh, it's so great. So can you share a little bit more about experience you went through and how around sport, the story of resilience for you and how you came out on the other side of it.
Well, sports for me, I think sports, it was also maybe a little bit of people pleasing, because why do you want to be the best in something? So, there is always this hope that once you are on the top, that you would win love of other people. So it's maybe not the people pleasing in the sense of doing what other people love, but by gaining um, their likes, their views, their appreciation. That's another thing of people pleasing, I think. So at one point, I won a race that was, in my opinion, very important to me. But I was on my way home with this goblet next to me, and I was like, okay, well, I thought after that I would be really happy, but it didn't really add much to my life. So I was on my way home, and I thought, like, if this is happiness, that's not enough. But the real deal was that I was working so hard to be at this stage. So as we have before I talked, or you have mentioned my injury, and that I was almost not able to walk again. So this was a huge thing, and that was even before that. So for me, it was like, okay, I have overcome this. I have done so many things. I have so much time spent in this training, and it's hard. It's like, after my recovery, it included like 11 hours of physiotherapy, and it is not like daily, not weekly.
Mhm.
And after that, of course, you train every day on the bike and in the gym, and to prepare yourself. And it's like the whole life, even the food, is kind of focused on the goal. And then you win, and then it's like, and now what? And
Yep.
this is when I, for the first time, realized that there's something really wrong in my life, that this will not make me happy. And I don't know if I questioned myself consciously at that time, but I questioned myself in some way. Well, if this doesn't make me happy, would any other win make me happy? Because I thought that's a big one. And would it matter if it would be bigger? Would it make me more happy if this didn't change it? And I think from that moment on, internally, the search started, if there is something more out there for me. So, and this is how I think the way to the other side started.
Wow. Well, and I'm curious to know the parallel. You've made a parallel to your injury and how there could be a component of people pleasing. I'd love for you to help in your work that you do now with people in relationships. Where do you see people struggling, and it can be to do with people pleasing or not, but where do you see people struggling with relationship, and how do you help them get to the other side of that?
Well, many times I see people, like, they want to gain the love of their, which is normal. I mean, you want to be loved by your partner. That's
Mhm.
a part of the relationship, and it's an important part of the relationship.
Yeah.
But what I think people sometimes, or many people, don't understand is that you should be loved just who you are. You shouldn't need to do something on top of that. Of course, we help our partners, we be nice, we be kind to each other, but that doesn't mean we have to compromise who we are in order to be loved to someone else. And I see this, or maybe the most relatable thing is when you look at some toxic relationships, because there, these little, let's say, toxic or almost narcissistic influences make people question who they are and make people change to keep the relationship. And this is what influences the relationship so negative, because the relationship itself should never be a question. That should be working, that should be both people working on that. And you cannot be the only one carrying the weight of the relationship, and you cannot be the one changing to maintain the relationship, whether it's both people. But it's not a personality change, it's just like a compromise, an adaptation. Like, if my partner would like me to, whatever, close the door, I can close the door. That doesn't change me as a personality. But if a complete different mindset needs to be adapted, then probably is not the right partner. And you just have to understand this, that sometimes you need to leave a relationship not because you don't love the person, but because it means if you would stay with the person, you don't love and honor yourself. And
Wow.
I think this is the big thing to understand.
Wow. And so, how do you support those people who are in the toxic situation to come out on the other side?
Well, I think the first step is to give them again the belief that they are okay just the way
Mm,
they are, because there's a lot of confusion already in their head. Because I think that more toxic the relationship get, the more you get in your head, because constant thinking about how to improve the situation, how to improve the relationship. And I think at some point it can be almost the people just thinking about the relationship and not much about anything else. So we first of all put the focus back on the person and made them understand, first of all, what do I want, what do I need, and I am okay just the way I am. I'm not stupid, I'm not little, I'm completely okay the way I am. And then step by step, looking at what do I want from a partner, what do I want from a relationship, and can I make this happen with this partner. And
mm.
then, I mean, I cannot take that decision, that's their decision anyway, and it
Yeah.
will always be. But I think that the opening the eyes process and then seeing, I mean, that's another thing. It must not be narcissistic. It can be just a little bit of person that, sometimes when people don't share what they need, the partner doesn't even know. So they might even be willing to come on board, but they don't know that there was this problem. So when people start to open up and share what they truly need deep inside, maybe they can save the relationship and it can be a good relationship. But what is important is to really bring it like on the table and look at it just completely neutral without emotions, and then make a conscious decision. Do I want to continue? Is my partner on board? Or am I just suffering, and am I better off without that person? At
Mm.
some point, maybe you need to face it. I'm not saying you need to leave, but look at it, at least look at it, and then make a decision.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'd love if you can talk a little bit about, okay, so the individual is becoming more aware that they do want something more. They're becoming more aware that maybe they haven't been loving themselves to the level that they'd want to get to. What are some strategies that you invite them to do at this point?
Well, I think the first thing is to be like a little bit more gentle with themselves, because I think one of the most critical things is that we judge ourselves so much. Every little thing that goes wrong is, of course, it's because I am so stupid, I'm so dumb, I'm so clumsy, or whatever it is. So we are so hard on ourselves. And in respect of the partner in this relationship, they're not hard at all. They're like excusing everything, and like adapting a little bit more gentleness with yourself, looking at yourself and say like, it's okay, I made a mistake. Like, even if you just dropped something, like, it's okay, it dropped, I clean it up, it's fine. And not beating yourself up for this.
Mm.
That's a
Mhm.
beautiful first step. And also like to take a pause, sit back and like really relax. People cannot do this, they forgot that this is so necessary. And
Mm.
then I like to include some like techniques like mirror work, or I love mirror work for people, because
Yeah.
actually like getting in front of the mirror and just saying like, I'm learning to love you, for some people is really difficult. But it's important to start at this and look yourself in the eye and see yourself like blooming, or with the eyes that you would wish the ideal partner to look at you. Like, you should look at yourself this way. You should see yourself with the eyes that you would like to be seen, because otherwise no one can see you like this if you
Mm.
don't look at yourself this way. And I think this is also the why you would okay, be okay with less, because you think, or you don't look at yourself like you would own everything or deserve everything. And I think this is a good starting point. And from there, once you believe that you deserve it, why would you go for less?
Mm. That's a mic drop moment right there. Like, boom. Why would you go for less, right? Oh, that one hit me. Yes. And so I love mirror work also. Very, very powerful. I love what you're saying about taking the pause. And I would ask you to expand on that one a little bit more. Like, what would be some tips you can give to the individual who's listening to this going, I want to love myself more. I want my relationship to be stronger. This woman is suggesting that I take a pause. What the heck does that mean?
That does mean, like, as a basic first step, take a sheet of paper and write down what you love. Just
Mm.
simple as that. Write down, I like to read a book with a candle and a cup of tea. I love that. Personally, I love that too. So, or I like to watch a movie, or I like to walk in the woods. Whatever it is that you like, write a list. Write yourself a long, long list, as much as you can write on this list. And then every day, choose something from that list and do it for yourself. If you cannot put in more than 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. But do something every day and extend it as much as you feel like you're satisfied. It's not like, for me, it's like the 10 minutes in the morning. I need this. If I'm not ready for the day if I'm not taking this. So, but that's not enough. Like 10 minutes a day, and that, like, over the year, that's not enough. I need more time for myself. But I'm an introvert, so I need probably more than other people. But still, like, it needs to feel good, not because someone else says, I need you now. No, because now I feel I'm done with doing nothing, or taking my break, or taking my, I love to call it me time. Because
Hmm.
that's the most beautiful thing, because it's the time that I dedicate to what I love, not to someone else, not to the kids, not to my partner, just to myself, because I deserve that too. And
Hmm.
I recommend to set some time aside, like really marking it in your schedule. Say, like, from 5 to 6, it's me time, and no one disturbs me. Put a sign up there, mommy needs time. That's it. And take this time and really, because you would go to the doctor. This is your doctor hour for yourself. Take this time. You need this.
Oh, I love that. I love so many things there that you made it a simple strategy. Doesn't need to be in a fancy journal. It doesn't need to be typed into a specific app. You literally take a piece of paper and write things that you love to do and then go and do them, recognizing that it's not the responsibility of your partner to do those things to show you that love. It's your opportunity to show you the love first and then bring the other people in your life into that sphere, right? Then and invite them to join you for those things. But I love the me time, love that. I also, what came to my head there was, I'm really big on role modeling for the next generation, for the future. And so when you said those words, I thought to myself, how powerful would it be if we started teaching our people around us, our family members, that, especially our children, that yes, it's mommy's time or me time or whatever label we're going to give that time, but we also are encouraging them to take me time that isn't related to the technology. So what would me time look like for your child who loves to play sports or loves to dance or loves to play music or whatever? Maybe they like to draw. Like, when we take away the technology, and even adults were spending so much time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. If we were to take the device away for a time, what would you do that would actually bring you joy and love and connect to you? So I'd love to know for yourself, as we kind of come to the end of this discussion, on the other side of losing yourself and coming to loving yourself, what's one kind of final wrap up that you would share with the individuals who have been listening today?
I think that discovering yourself, digging deeper into yourself, cleaning up the mess inside of yourself, and not looking for the mess that is around you, but really starting, like, inside of yourself, is most of all the most courageous step that you can do. But I think it's also the most beautiful step and the most, I don't know, the most appreciative gift that you can give to yourself. And I encourage everyone to take at least a little look and open the curtain and look what's inside, because behind all the mess that you stuffed somewhere, all the beauty starts to shine when you just wipe it off.
Mm, wow. Thank you. Thank you. And I really I want to share to the listeners. Tina has made available a resource called "Learn to Say No in 5 Minutes." Very excited for all of you to go and download this resource. There will be a link in the show notes for people to go grab that and to follow you on all of the places, your website, social media, all of the places. This has been truly an awesome time being with you today, and I thank you for your lovely energy and wisdom.
Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure and joy to be here and to talk to you.
Wonderful. And to all of our listeners, I greatly appreciate you. And I invite you to like this episode where you're listening and share it with a friend, follow Power to the People Pleasers, and stay tuned for the next episode of Power to the People Pleasers coming